Greetings from USTC360. I'm Clemmer Pryforce. It's inside Port-au-Prince's soccer stadium that seats over 16,000 people, where 800 families made their home as earthquake survivors. This national stadium became a disaster shelter for survivors with no place to go. Through our distribution centers, volunteers came to the aid of residents of this tent city. Tzu Chi organized new volunteer training courses for many residents. Over 100 residents have signed up to become Tzu Chi volunteers. Many of them were recruited through opportunities like our Food for Work program. But you don't have to take my word for it.
In Port-au-Prince, there are approximately 400 tent cities in the metropolitan area, many on private property. A few blocks west of the collapsed presidential palace in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. This is Haiti's main soccer stadium, Silvio Cato Stadium, and home of the national soccer team, with a seating capacity of 16,000. About 3,000 people who survived the quake are now living in cramped, makeshift camps at the stadium. However, day-to-day living still remains a challenge. When the earthquake struck, Evelyn Boisdefay was at the National Soccer Stadium. Evelyn's house was also destroyed during the quake. She now lives in a tent at the stadium.
There were 40 dead bodies alone at the stadium. It took me 2 days to bring them to their homes. What hurts me the most is that I saw many people with broken feet, but I couldn't help them in any way. I carried them on my back and took them back to their homes. Excuse me, when I think back to the earthquake, it just leaves a deep memory in my heart. On the second day, I returned to my house and found it flat and destroyed, but I didn't care if I had a house. All I wanted to do was to help people in need. All I want to do is to stay here, open an office with people to assist me in helping others, but I don't have the means. This is why when Tzu Chi came, it was like God coming down in person to come help me with the people inside.
The National Soccer Stadium is one of Tzu Chi's main distribution sites. Tzu Chi provided tents and tarp for the earthquake victims. Ben Constant has been helping the people in the stadium since he opened the doors after the earthquake.
I mean, the people feel like their life is back. I feel like that was a moment, important moment, for all the people to say thanks to the Tzu Chi Foundation. We have a life again.
Many of the local volunteers were recruited through opportunities like the Work for Food program. Markeli Shalizma is a local volunteer. He was in charge of the cooking team at the stadium. Markeli slept on the cardboard boxes until he received a tent from Tzu Chi.
One thing I like about Tzu Chi is that they explain how to live with friends, how to love those who don't have anything. Even though you might have just $1, you don't have to spend everything all at once. You can save it and help others.
Yu Li Chen is the Tzu Chi volunteer who initiated the Haitian volunteer training sessions.
They feel very honored wearing our volunteer vests. To participate with Tzu Chi by wearing our vests means to become Bodhisattva.
After spending several weeks working closely with the Haitian volunteers, she felt it was critical to pass on the Tzu Chi values to the Haitian people to foster a culture of helping others.
Busa is a person who is willing to go to the most difficult place to help people. And we don't want to get anything back.
Juliette Archila is also a volunteer for the Work for Food program. She's 16 years old, and she enjoyed participating in the Tzu Chi volunteer training sessions.
Tzu Chi has changed me. Now I want to help people who are in worse conditions than me. Although I don't have anything to provide them, I can still help them. I will continue to pick up garbage the same way, even when they're not here, even after Tzu Chi volunteers leave Haiti.
Haiti has a long way to go to recover. But, at least for these few hours, in the basement of the National Soccer Stadium in Port-au-Prince, there was a sense of unity, a sense of hope.
Un applauso a Musa. Musa,